a seasoned leader in the justice system. Pam Bondi sat poised at the witness table in the House Judiciary Committee hearing room, her demeanor exuding the calm authority of someone who had navigated countless high-stakes legal battles with unwavering integrity. Jasmine Crockett, the fiery Democratic representative from Texas, burst into the proceedings like a storm. Her voice sharp and accusatory as she leaned forward, interrupting Bondi's ongoing testimony on critical reforms to the federal justice system. The room filled with committee members, staffers, reporters, and a gallery of observers, including legal experts and community activists, fell into a hushed anticipation, the air thick with the tension of what promised to be a dramatic confrontation. Bondi, ever the professional, adjusted her microphone without a flicker of surprise, her eyes tweeting Crockett's, with a steady gaze that spoke volumes about her experience in handling adversarial situations. Crockett wasted no time launching into her attack with the confidence of someone accustomed to making headlines through bold statements, questioning Bondi's handling of major cases involving opioid manufacturers and human trafficking, accusing her of lacking transparency and favoring powerful interests over everyday Americans. Attorney General Bondi, your decisions in those high-profile lawsuits raise serious doubts about your commitment to impartial justice. Crockett declared, her tone laced with indignation, as if she were unveiling a scandal that would shake the foundations of the department. The gallery murmured, phones held aloft to capture what many expected to be a viral moment, with progressive supporters nodding in approval at Crockett's aggressive style. But Bondi, undeterred, responded with measured precision, her voice clear and composed, thanking Crockett for the question, while subtly redirecting the focus to the facts. Representative Crockett, I appreciate your zeal for oversight. It's vital for our democracy, but let's ensure we're grounded in reality. Bondi said, pulling out a folder of documents that detailed the outcomes of those cases, including multi-million-dollar settlements that held corporations accountable and funded victim support programs. Crockett pressed on her interruptions, growing more insistent, pivoting to Bondi's stance on strengthening laws against traffickers, claiming it was more about optics than real change. Her words designed to paint Bondi as out of touch with progressive reforms. The committee chairman, trying to maintain order, interjected politely, but Crockett waved it off, insisting that the American people deserved answers right then and there, her theatrical gestures amplifying the drama for the cameras positioned around the room. Bondi, however, remained unflappable, her responses rooted in verifiable achievements like spearheading efforts that led to tougher state penalties and increased public awareness, all while emphasizing collaboration across party lines. As Crockett continued her barrage questioning Bondi's judgment in prioritizing certain prosecutions, Bondi countered by asking a simple yet pointed question. Representative, have you reviewed the full case files from those actions, or are we basing this on summaries from media reports? The query hung in the air, exposing a potential gap in Crockett's preparation, as the representative hesitated for a split second before retorting with a deflection about systemic biases in the justice system. The exchange escalated, with Crockett invoking her background in civil rights to bolster her credibility, but Bondi gently steered back to specifics, citing how her initiatives had directly aided underserved communities, reducing exploitation and providing resources for recovery. Observers in the gallery shifted uncomfortably, some whispering about the mismatch in depth between the two women's approaches, Crockett's passionate but broad strokes versus Bondi's detailed evidence-based rebuttals. Crockett, sensing the need to regain momentum, doubled down on personal accusations, suggesting Bondi's decisions might have been influenced by external pressures, her voice rising to emphasize the word influenced for dramatic effect. Bondi, with a slight smile that conveyed patience rather than amusement, opened another document outlining the transparent processes followed in each case, including public disclosures and independent reviews that affirmed the integrity of her actions. If we're discussing influence representative, perhaps we should examine how legislative votes align with campaign contributions, Bondi suggested calmly, hinting at a deeper dive without yet unleashing it, her tone inviting rather than confrontational. Crockett bristled, her face flushing slightly as she accused Bondi of dodging the real issues, but the Attorney General's composure began to unsettle the room, with even some Democratic members exchanging glances, recognizing the skill in Bondi's deflections. The hearing originally focused on broader justice reforms, like addressing disparities in sentencing and enhancing victim protections, had veered into this personal showdown. But Bondi masterfully tied it back to the agenda, explaining how her work on opioid litigation had recovered funds to support addiction treatment programs in states like Texas, directly benefiting Crockett's constituents. Crockett, undaunted, fired back with questions about Bondi's views on federal oversight of local law enforcement, implying a lack of empathy for communities affected by over-policing her rhetoric, drawing cheers from a few activists in the audience. Yet Bondi responded with empathy and facts, recounting collaborative efforts with local leaders to implement reforms that balanced accountability with support for officers, her words resonating with the law enforcement representatives present. As the minutes ticked by, Crockett's arguments started to show cracks, repetitive phrases, unsubstantiated claims, while Bondi's replies built a narrative of dedicated service, each one reinforcing her reputation as a fair and effective leader. The tension mounted as Crockett attempted to corner Bondi on a specific case.